G'day guys, Nolsey here again, and you're listening to another episode of Idle Talking with Nolsey. I've got my co-host and producer here, Tim Holland, as well. Today we're going to be going through the Idle finale, and both nights of the finale, which was I performed at, which was pretty fun. So take it away, Tim.
Absolutely, and just everyone knows usually we have some notes and we sort of do a bit of pre-prep for these podcasts. We like to consider ourselves to be very professional, and we are very professional. But today we have done absolutely no preparation whatsoever.
Wing it.
So this could either be the worst or the best episode
That's right.
of Idle Talking with Nolsey. So obviously the grand final of Australian Idol took place on Sunday and Monday night. Dylan Wright.
Big win for Dylan. Yeah.
Yes, big win for Dylan. And it was really, really exciting. Before we get to all that, let's paint a bit of a picture for everyone. We are in Sydney. You are in the middle of rehearsals for the tour. You've got an album and tour starting next week. How do you feel about it all at the moment?
Yeah, mate, no, really good. Yesterday we had a really great day in the rehearsal studio. We've obviously it's a 20th anniversary tour of the first album. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll be playing a lot of the songs off that album. And then yesterday we run through them all, and it was so good just to revisit all those old songs that I haven't played in so long. Obviously, you know, you bring a new album out and you play songs off it, and over time, especially 20 years, a lot of the songs that weren't obviously the biggest ones. What About Me's always been the set, of course, but
so you will do What About Me on the
I think
on
so.
the tour?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I've got
That's
to do
great
What About
news.
Me. Yeah, I've got to do What About Me. I think I'd get chased out of there with pitchforks if I didn't. So as soon as I start singing, most times someone's yelling out, "Sing What About Me," and I always go, I'll get to it. Don't panic, I'll get to it. But yeah, the rehearsals are going really, really well. It's not long now. It's coming obviously into Easter and then the first week of April. So it's a theatre show. We haven't done a theatre show in probably around 10 years, which would be great for a couple of reasons, because obviously the show itself will be totally different to a festival show or a pub show. So and plus also too, it'll be all ages, which will be a bit of fun. So I've had a fair bit of feedback over the last couple of years about people saying, when are you going to do an all age show? My kids want to come and I want to bring them along as well. So it's a great opportunity to gain some a few members of the younger generation at the shows when they're dragged along there to the show by their mum or their dad. So thanks for the support, mum and dad out there.
I think you're going to have people bring their parents and their kids.
Yeah,
to this
yeah,
tour.
just
That's
about.
what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. So it'll be. I remember I did a show down in Warrnambool down in Victoria, and there was an old lady in the front row. She would have had to be 90, I reckon, and she was going off. I was worried that she was going to be too loud for her, personally, but she looked like
She's lost a hearing, mate.
Yeah, probably. But she was having a time of her life, so it was so great to see that range of support that I've got out there right across the board. So this tour will be a perfect example for everybody who's interested in coming along and checking out the show. They can do so. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Now, this album you're releasing, just to clarify, it's not just the original album. It's the original album plus 2 new songs. Obviously, the duet with Cosima.
Yeah, the duet with Cosima I'm really stoked about because for those that don't know, I connected with Cosima on this podcast a few months back through a stewardess. I was on a plane and a steward said, "Oh, you know my vocal coach?" And I said, "Oh, who's that?" And she said, "Oh, Cosima DeVito." And I went, "Wow, I haven't talked to Cosima in years. So can I grab her number, and because we'd love her to come on the podcast." And then once on the podcast, we started talking. I thought, yeah, it'd be good to do a duet with Cosima, especially obviously the way she went out of the show 20 years ago through doctor's orders. She had to pull out for medical reasons, which would have been heartbreaking for her. So and after having her on the podcast, she said it did impact her a lot and took her a long time to get over. So I thought, what a great thing to get her on this track, and there's not many people who could cover Kelly Clarkson, because she's the original performers of the duet we've done were Jason Aldean and Kelly Clarkson, and Kelly Clarkson's a beast of a singer. So, and Cosima nailed it. So, so I'm really stoked that that's on the album, and really stoked that that we got the opportunity to do that. So that's one of the tracks on there.
And the other song, No Time.
And No Time is a new single that I'll put out by myself. That was co-written by Gary Frost, who obviously he wrote What About Me. So I reckon that's a really interesting collaboration again after 20 years. So
very appropriate, I think, for this release.
Absolutely. So see if we can have some similar success with that one. It'd be nice. But it's great to be working on something that Gary's written again.
Yes. Also on this album, there are some rare live recordings of some of those original songs from that first album, plus also a bunch of, hits post that album as well, Lift, Shine, various singles, basically, the hits of when you're at Sony Music. So very compelling product. If you pre-order it at Sanity Online or JB Hi-Fi before April 5, you can get a signed copy. Nollsy signed a zillion album covers last week, so something certainly a collector's item for sure.
Also, it's in vinyl too, which is really, really exciting. So
Yes.
I'm really stoked about that. I never had a vinyl album before, so I've got the first hot off the press, as they say. Hot off the print or whatever they call it, but the first copy at home, and I've got to, if anyone knows a good vinyl player, just a cheap one, that'd be cool, because I'd love to play that at home and have a listen to it and see how it stacks up on
Interesting.
On that.
I think there's a statistic that 50% of vinyl sort of bought, no one ever plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never gets out of the shrink wrapping.
Yeah, right. Well,
but it looks very good in the collection.
Yeah,
oh, look at my vinyl collection. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
They're worth a pretty penny down the track too, I think.
Yeah, but there's only a couple of hundred of these being made, so if you want one,
grab it.
get it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to speak. Okay, so let's before we talk about the contestants and who won and who lost and who should have won and who should have lost and all that. Obviously, the big thing for you was returning to Australian Idol for the first time in 20 years. I mean, you've made a point that you didn't want to go back until the moment was right.
Yep.
And it was decided that this Sunday night would be that moment. How was it going back onto the stage, seeing those judges and the crowd and big Idol sign and the jingle?
The music.
What was it like, mate?
Yeah, no, the music. It was definitely nostalgic, mate. Just took you right back to when I was a contestant. Just the atmosphere and the excitement of the whole staging and that, because there's massive staging in there. The room itself looks amazing. The Coliseum in Ruddy Hill, which I'll be playing at.
Yes, amazing
in
venue.
May. It's an amazing venue. So it was just. I think they've been shooting all their live shows out there, so it was like their second home, and just the stage itself was absolutely fabulous. And the judges and just the whole hype around it, getting put into position and ready to go. And it was a little bit. I didn't know how it was going to go over. I was obviously Dylan had a massive following and a huge crowd favourite, and it was great to sing with him. I think he's a great young fella. But it was a little bit funny, of a funny feeling walking back on there, especially hearing the music again. You sort of go like, oh, because it takes you straight back to when I was there, sort of thing, and it wasn't. It was very pressurised back then, and very emotional in the whole thing, because you never knew when you were going home. You just trying to survive the process really, and not make a fool of yourself on national TV. So, but once it really was great. After the crowd just was amazing after we sang.
I'll paint a bit of a picture of what that was like actually at the venue on Sunday night. Now, obviously, a lot of people listening will have watched the performance on Sunday night, either on TV or YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and saw that it was an amazing performance, huge crowd response, all that. It really is it's like a bull ring, like it's literally a coliseum. You've got the stage down below and the crowd sort of around you and beside you, and like many TV shows, there's a hype guy. I'm not quite sure what that person's called.
Yeah, before coming in and out of ad breaks, going, pump up.
Yeah, their job is to pump up the crowd, and so before you went on to sing, this hype guy is going. It's like a wrestling or world title fight. He's like, and the main event is coming up. Guy Sebastian is not the headliner tonight. The headliner tonight is Nollsy. He's about to come on. And he's pumping this crowd up. So by the time Dylan starts the song, this crowd is so pumped and ready to go that, by the time he gone, they were just so pumped and vibed. It's really interesting. There were, I guess, groups of fans for the three finalists. Yep. You had your Amy people, you had your Dylan people, you had your Denver people, all in their T-shirts.
Yep.
They were all singing. They were all up by... I've seen you do this song, obviously, a lot.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
And it's always fantastic. It's always great fun. It's always very memorable for everyone. That was a whole other level.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was sort of backstage with my in-ears in and sort of getting...
What about me, of course, it's a song.
Yeah. Sorry, of course.
For those who haven't seen it.
So I didn't really hear what the pump-up guy was saying, because obviously backstage, because I had to walk out after Dylan had started. But, wow, it was really crazy, just the response itself. Especially after it... you have your normal rah, and then it just sort of it came in a second wave, and everyone stood up. It was an amazing feeling. I couldn't have hoped for a better, return to the Idol stage. I think than that one.
Obviously, Marsha Hines had a fall. Now, good news is she's okay, and she in fact was back on Monday night, which was incredible. It meant that Guy
they were down
substituted
Guy was just there doing a performance of his new single, wasn't he? So then they collared him and said, can you be a judge, because Marsha can't make it.
This is interesting. Obviously, you and Guy are mates. We know all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
You do the song, and then Guy's a judge. And
I know. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was really funny. Sort of, obviously standing there after you finish your performance, sort of standing there with your arms folded like you're in a school photos or something, and looking up there and seeing Guy, I thought, oh crikey, how just after it was him and I that whole time, standing there packing it, sort of watching the judges. I was going to yell out to him, be gentle, mate, be gentle, mate. But I think he was involved in pumping up the crowd too. So God bless him.
Okay, now my question, Guy's sort of feedback from your performance. And we kind of alluded to this earlier on, that we arrive at the Coliseum on Sunday, and dressing room number 2, Shannon Noll. Here we go. And we sort of joked, poor old Dylan's probably going to come second, because, he's going to get the Nollsy curse. Anyway, so you do the performance. Guy then mentions this when he says, the one thing that might stop you from winning is the Nollsy curse. I just wonder if that rallied the fans a little bit to get Dylan home.
It could have. I did have a feeling. Just the reaction.
The Nollsy fans didn't want to see that happen again.
They didn't want to see me coming in, or my who I was associated with coming in second again. So it was very funny, but because everything. This the reaction of the crowd itself. I thought, wow, this could hopefully it'll really help Dylan not come second like me. It was pretty funny.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the contestants a little bit. My read on where everything was at before Sunday night.
Yeah,
I thought Amy would win.
Yeah,
obviously all three are great, but I thought Amy would win. Her performances, just vocally, for me, two things stuck out. She did a performance of the Jess Mowboy song, "Can I Get a Moment?" I think it was top 10 performance or top 8 performance, and equal, like, she nailed it. Yep. Like, I guess perhaps just because she's a little bit younger and there's still a little bit of her voice to naturally develop, not quite at that Jess Malboy level, but I tell you what, pretty damn close. Like, but then the next week she did a song, and I can't remember the name of the song, but it was a sort of ballad, and she did it in this totally like other way.
Yeah,
like,
different way. Yep.
And it's like, wow, like that girl has real, like the breath control, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I thought, she would win. After What About Me, I changed my mind because that was...
Yeah, it was something...
And obviously he nailed it as well.
Oh, Dylan was brilliant. Absolutely. I think he was sort of... Yeah, I could see the impact on him. He had a smile from ear to ear after it, He was like over the moon. And he hooked in there right at the end too and went with it for the big parts. It was great.
He took his moment.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And went on to win,
absolutely.
And that's what you got to do, haven't you?
Seize the opportunity, absolutely. And, I think, Dylan's been playing, he's an accomplished musician. He's one of them guys who just plays, week in, week out, gigs week in, week out. It could be in a band or playing in the corner at a pub or whatever, but just playing all the time. And I think Denver... I was talking to Guy later. Guy said he heard a few songs that she's written, and he said they are amazing. So, I think Denver could have a real opportunity, especially being a great little songwriter, like Guy said. Guy thinks she is. That'll benefit her, and she'll just pop up, with a new single somewhere in no time. I think someone will be, because she's very unique too. I think she's got, and there's so much to like about her. I think. I'd say. Look out for her at Tamworth next year.
Yeah, I think she's going to be performing at the Gympie Muster, which you'll also be performing at, and various other festivals, which I think these sort of things were locked in before she was even on Idol. So I think country music fans will be seeing a lot of her in the coming months. I'm sure she'll put a song out.
I think Dylan might be...
Well, Dylan...
Is he up there too?
So Dylan, yes. I think he's got a band called Sons of Atticus, I think might be the name of the band.
Yeah, cool.
And they're on the Gympie line. I don't know whether the band is still going to be doing things or whatever, but he'll be there in either, with the band or in some form.
So I'm so stoked for him, young bloke with young family, and his girl
from up your way, Northern Rivers.
Yep, lives in the Northern Rivers. Yep, he has a lovely little family too. His partner seems so lovely, and the way she spoke about him, just he's done what he's had to do to support the family now, and she was so happy to see him doing, back to where he should be, which is just fabulous. I think so. Good, all the best to Dylan. Moving forward, and I just think it's all about the music. So they get him if he writes a song or they get him a great song, then anything could happen. I think by the sound of it, Denver is capable of writing a hit as well. And then Amy, I think she's just an absolute magnificent voice. So I think there's lots of
the first thing she needs. The poor girl needs some voice rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she started to cook it in the end.
I noticed that. We talk about...
She sings big, though, big singer.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how, obviously What About Me went so well. She also nailed Chains, Tina Arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about a very difficult song to sing, but I certainly could see that there's someone who would benefit from a week.
Oh, absolutely. Because people don't sort of realise that sometimes. Like, the volume of work and the volume of pressure that you have to put on your voice during... especially those final weeks, because there's only 3 contestants left. There's so much content needed to fill the show out and with only 3 contestants, sorry. So you have to carry so much workload, and it's all singing. So they were supposed to do a song with Marsha, then 2 or 3 of their own, then the duet, and then more the next night. So and then the rehearsals and learning all these songs. And when you're not rehearsing or blocking camera angles or doing dress rehearsals or just band rehearsals or anything, because you do band rehearsals with the band, then you go into the room, you do room rehearsals, then you do dress rehearsals, and then you run the show twice before before it's even time to actually go live to air. And the amount, the harshness on your voice is incredible. So I hope she looks after herself, because we don't want another. Obviously, that's what happened with Cosmo. the Nodgers, because they both sing very similar too, big notes and big powerful voices. So
multi-octave singers,
massive, So it's just a really, really harsh situation on your voice. So hopefully she'll rest up a bit and look after herself, because obviously don't want any long-term effects at all.
I know Dylan won obviously the competition, so he gets his record deal with Sony and $100,000, which would be very nice. I'm not sure whether Amy's been signed or not, but regardless, I'm sure she's going to have a big future. And obviously, we are conscious of saying too much and talking people up too much, because it's really hard, because there is going to be for all of them now a bit of a...
Well, now's the hard work part, and that's, the show itself's so draining, and because, like I said, there's so much filming and just back in your hometown filming and interviews and all that sort of thing with your mum and dad or your friends or your siblings or whatever, and then the rehearsals. So you just do not stop 7 days a week towards the end for the last sort of probably month of the show, or 3 weeks, two or 3 weeks of the show. So it'll be interesting to see what comes after they have a bit of a break, I think. But get a great song, and anything's possible, I think. But it's always come down to the music. I think, and having a great song coming out of it. I really hope that they get something sorted and something out soon, and then tour places where all the people who voted for them can actually go and see them. I think that was a really integral part in me, I suppose still being here 20 years later. Well, it's funny to even say that, but I hit the road and played, clubs and pubs and all that sort of thing. So all the people who voted for me right around the country in the first year could have seen me at a show and come and watch me live. Because I think, you grab them and they support you through the show, but they'll support someone else next season. But if they go and see you at a live show and they go, and it's sort of, you're everything they hoped you would be, then they'll continue to be your fans, even though they might have another favourite for the next season, you know what I mean? But they'll support you from then on, which is what it's all about. So
now, speaking of giving young artists an opportunity to perform in their local areas during your tour, at every show, and we just announced this yesterday, you will be giving a local artist in the area that you're performing in that night the opportunity to perform a 15-minute acoustic set before you go on stage.
Before the show,
So what you got to do, if you would like to perform before Nollsy during the 20th anniversary, that's what I'm talking about, tour, go on to Instagram or TikTok, and in a video that should be no longer than 60 seconds, state the show you'd like to play at, what date it's on, and then sing a verse and a chorus of a song. Make sure you tag Nollsy. It's at Nollsy on Instagram or at Nollsy Official on TikTok. And you're going to pick someone to play at every show on the tour. Great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Just the opportunity to unearth somebody, around the country. I mean, it's exactly the same situation as auditioning for Idol, I think, because if it's a chance to be seen, I reckon. So, dive in there, and if you're interested and there's a show near you, by all means, whack a post up and see how you go, because it'll be great to find a couple of real ripper performers and singers and players along the way.
It'll be a paid performance and 4 tickets as well, so you can bring the family along, and it's going to be fantastic. So yes, do that. I think we're selecting pretty quickly. The first show is in Sunshine Coast next Friday, so we'll be picking that person pretty quickly in Brisbane the following night. And then obviously each weekend for a couple of months, there are shows on. So get on there and sing your heart out to Nollsy if you want to open for him. It'll
be good, because my young bloke Blake is coming on the road with us as well, and he's going to do the other 15 minutes. So this is his first probably a first different tour with me in this capacity. So he's really looking forward to that too. So whoever gets the call up at each show will be right there with him in the mix, sharing the stage and doing acoustic 15 minutes. So get amongst the guys. It'd be great to great to see us on the road. So.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Australian Idol. Obviously, we did review episodes last year. We haven't this year. There's been a few other things to do, a bit of a tour to prepare for and an album and all that. Overall, what are your thoughts? I tend to think it was a better show this year. I thought that mix was a lot better. Yeah. There was less talk about stadiums and you're going to be a star.
Yeah, absolutely,
a little bit more constructive.
Yeah,
advice
I think
overall.
it was light years different to last year. I think last year we didn't have a lot of chemistry. I didn't think it was sort of with the judges too much. I didn't reckon there's a bit of a disconnect there. I thought, but this year it just gelled so much better. It just had so much more of a vibe going this year, and I think it seemed a lot more like the Idol of old of the early years. I think than last year. So. And I think it's a great platform. You know, it's not all about the judges and the kids the contestants get to choose their own songs and I think there's 1 week where they get a song chosen for them and that's it. As opposed to a lot of having to sing what people tell you sort of thing, which is always difficult because you might have to sing a song that you have no emotional connection with, that you don't even like really, but you've got to sing it and that could be the one that you go out on. So I think that's great to leave it up to the contestants themselves and they're in their destinies in their own hands. I think so, yeah. So I just really got a great vibe about it this year. I think hopefully next year it'll come in a damn sight hotter than it did the start of the year before. So it could be just growing and getting better and better. So let's hope so.
I know you watched a lot of the episodes. Were there any other performers who weren't in the final three that stuck out for you?
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I should have written it down. There's a young girl who went out a few weeks ago, around the same time the young bloke called Ripley went out. I thought he was a dead set chance of making the top three. And the young girl, she was unbelievable. She sang all Celine Dion and Whitney Houston, and I just couldn't believe the size of her voice, and to see her go out early, I was gobsmacked. It really was surprising because I thought, she's going to win it straight away as soon as I heard her sing. But yeah, you never know with these types of shows. It's just whatever the public like, dislike about each contestant. So, and it's not always not always about the voice. I think she might have been very quiet and didn't get a lot of opportunity for people to get to know her a bit, which is always makes it difficult, But yeah, so it's a few surprises going through the top 12. I think a lot of people have said they were surprised when Ripley went out. I think he had nearly the whole package. He had a great look and sang and cool and pretty suave. So it was a bit of a surprise when he went out. But you just never know with Idol. But yeah, all in all, but I think it was a much better season.
Imogen Spendlove is the name of the girl you're talking about, who sung It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion in the top 12 show and was unfortunately, as far as you're concerned, eliminated. Good luck to you, Imogen, in the future and to all the other contestants on the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Congratulations to everyone on the show. I think the show was a great success this year. I think Marsha brought so much back to the table again. What an absolute powerhouse Marsha is. I mean, she doesn't look like she's aged in the last 20 years.
No, I don't think she has.
And some of the things she says are just so great.
So on point.
Yeah, about you being able to use your voice properly and dictate properly and just how to perform properly. She's just a wealth of knowledge. So it was great to have her back, and I think that was a big reason the show went so well this year.
Absolutely. Okay, well, you are off to rehearsal now for the tour.
Yep.
And, of course, it starts on April 5, first show at Venue 114 on Sunshine Coast, then Princess Theatre, Brisbane the following night, Saturday night. I think the Brisbane show is pretty much sold out. If you want to go to that show, get on to shannonnoll.com right now and get a ticket because there's virtually no tickets left for that one. Same deal with Sunshine Coast the night before. Some tickets left, but not too many. So go get those tickets. And if you want a signed vinyl album or a signed CD of this new album, make sure you pre-order the album at Sanity or JB Hi-Fi this week. And we will be back next week on the day before album release for another episode with another great guest.
Yep, no worries, mate. Thank you very much, guys. So see you all next week.
And a reminder in regards to this podcast to subscribe if you haven't already on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, Amazon, or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. This has been Idle Talking with Nolsey. We look forward to your company next time.